Hello everyone, my name is Rick Malava. My nickname in the forums is ctb.ram, and I'm one of the moderators on simplymaya.com. One of our users, let's see if I can get his post here, here it is, Network Systems was trying to take this object and he wanted to duplicate it, scale it -1, and he's getting this gap where he mirrors the two objects together. And there's two reasons why this is happening. One is either your vertices along the plane that you're mirroring across are not all lined up, or the pivot is also not lined up with all of the vertices that you're mirroring across. And looking at this picture, I can see it's a combination of the two. I'm going to show you how to do this rather than do a description. I started to give you a step-by-step description, and then I realized if it's a new user, for each of these steps that I'm suggesting, I need to also describe how to do those, and it was turning into a 37-step process. So it's much easier to just come in here and show you using a video how to do it. So I've created this object. It's just a sphere that I randomly pulled some surfaces out of, and then I made sure that it was not on the origin of the grid system here, so that I'm not simply just mirroring across the this zero plane here. And also I made sure that the verts that I want to mirror across are all messed up, so they're not lined up properly. So in order to mirror this object, the first thing I need to do is get all of these verts right here. I need to get all these verts lined up in a plane, and then I need to make sure that the pivot is also on that plane. So what I'll do to do that, the first thing you want to do whenever you're going to align vertices using the Move tool is you want to go into the settings for the Move tool. And you want to make sure that this retain component spacing is unchecked and that you're in world mode. This only works if you're in object mode. You'll get odd results, and if you have retain component spacing on, all the vertices won't snap to a single plane. So make sure that you're in world mode and that retain component spacing is unchecked. The other way that you can check that is holding the W key down and the left mouse button. This marking menu will come up, and you can make sure that you're in world mode here, and you can make sure that component spacing is turned off, or keep component spacing is turned off, by making sure that this keep spacing checkbox is unchecked. Alright, so with those settings, the next thing I want to do is line all these vertices up in a plane. So I'm going to select all the vertices, and because they're not on the not on the origin here, I'm going to use one of the vertices in this selection to determine where I line all the vertices up. So let's pick this vertice right here and hold down the Shift key, the Control key, and uncheck that vert. So that was the Control key. Now I unchecked one vert. Now I'm going to select the X manipulator, and you see it turns yellow. That means that all of these vertices are going to be constrained to their movement along this X-axis. So now holding the middle mouse button over this vertex, or holding the cursor over this vertex, holding the V key down, you see that the manipulator box turns to a circle, and if I middle mouse gesture over this vertex, everything will snap to that vertex. Okay? So now if I come out here, you can see that my pivot is still messed up. If I mirrored this at this point, it would mirror with the center point being where this pivot is at, and so I'd get this big gap in between with like 3 units of space over on this side, or on this side of the manipulator. So I need to get my manipulator back to this plane. So I'm going to hit the Insert key, and I'm just going to once again move the X manipulator here, turn it yellow, and then I'm going to hold the V key down for vertex snapping, and I'm going to snap to this vertex right here. So that moves the pivot back to the center line that I want to mirror across. And now I can either freeze the transforms and Control D to duplicate, and then scale it -1 to scale it across. Or I can now I have to take and combine these two objects and then merge all these vertices along the center line if I wanted to make this a single object. If I wanted to do that in one step, where I mirror it and also combine the objects and merge the vertices in a single step, what I can do is I can come in here and select this object. Once again, make sure that my pivot is at the plane where I want to mirror across, which is going to be, you can see the X or the YZ plane here. So if I select this guy Now I hold the Shift key down and the right mouse button, and I can come down here to mirror, and if I mirror it -X, there you go. It mirrors the object across and merges all the vertices and combines all the two halves together into a single part. So there you have it. There you go. That's what you need to worry about when you're mirroring components. You need to make sure that all your vertices are in a plane. You need to make sure that your pivot point is also in that plane, and then you can either duplicate the part and scale it in -1, combine the two halves, and merge the vertices, or you can just use the mirror option to mirror the halves over, and it'll automatically combine everything up for you. One of the things that just popped in my head here before I wrap this up is that if you do use this method where you mirror, I'm going to go back a couple steps, where you just take this guy and you reverse its normals to mirror it over. You have to be careful, because right now if I turn off two-sided lighting, you're going to see if I freeze the transforms on this, right, its normals reverse. So now if you merge these, combine these two guys and try to merge the vertices along the center, you're going to get non-manifold geometry, and it's going to cause some problems. So what you want to do is, if you do freeze the transforms on this, you need to make sure that you also then come up and reverse their normals, so the normals are facing the right way. And now you can come in and take these two parts and combine them, and then from the front view you can select all these verts, and you can go to merge vert and combine the two parts together. Alright, I think that pretty much whips that horse to death. If there's any other questions, feel free to ask in the forums, and I hope this helps you out. Thanks for watching.